Hi, and welcome to my first video podcast. My name is Huldt-Lofgren, and in today's graphic design podcast, I will be taking you to the very beginning on why I became a graphic designer. But before I start, I want to give a friendly reminder, as I do in most of my posts, to sit back and relax while this episode is going, because having a break during work, especially if you work from home, is essential for healthy work-life balance. So, how did I become a graphic designer? The story actually starts all the way back to my last year of middle school in Sweden. The Swedish school system is a bit different from the American one, as in middle school you're already taking countrywide standardized tests to get grades towards high school applications. This is to give everyone a chance to a good education, no matter what your background is, but also to see what subjects you're good at. Because already in high school, you choose a major specific program. It can be anything from culinary school to science and technology. The latter two mentioned programs are the most challenging programs to get into, since they offer the most college classes in high school. At the time, I can admit that school came pretty easy to me. I didn't have to study for tests or take home homework ever, which made my parents more inclined to encourage me to choose those science programs. However, just because I could get in didn't mean that I necessarily wanted to, because even though my favorite classes were math related, I had a big passion for art. But after some convincing from my parents, I understood that a good school base is key, and later in life I could pursue art. So that's what I did. I majored in technology and started to get new life goals. I wanted now to become a commercial pilot and travel the world to learn endlessly about it. Even went so far as having an internship at our local aviation school, and I took flying lessons because I wanted to be sure that this is what I wanted to do, and I ended up being pretty sure about it. Unfortunately, it didn't turn that way. The last year of high school, I was diagnosed with a mild heart problem, but a heart problem nonetheless. With that diagnosis, I knew I couldn't pass the health checks to get into aviation school, which seemed like the end of the world for me. So I took a leap year where I got the opportunity to help a family member across the world on a small island called Mauritius. An opportunity I took without doing any research about the place, and I quit my 2 jobs within 2 weeks. During my stay on the island, I promised myself not to say no to any new opportunities, since I was pretty lost at that time. I ended up trying new sports, meeting new people, and fell back in love with art making. And in short, I fell in love with the island and the people on it. The country was at that point starting to break through economically, where more and more people were starting to have their own businesses, and the country was less and less dependent on tourism, which is the country's largest income. But something I saw while I was living there was the lack of use of marketing and design. Most companies only used a Facebook page and relied on word-to-mouth marketing, something I wasn't used to in Europe. At that point, I realized I can combine my 2 passions, technology and art. During that revelation, I promised myself I would use my graphic design diploma for good and have every so often a pro bono project to give back to the island who made me who I am today. And that is why I am here today, studying graphic design, still with that promise in mind to do good as a graphic designer. I hope you guys enjoyed my little story, and please don't forget to subscribe to all my social medias at Amanda